Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of the Pearson Edexcel November 2023 GCSE Mathematics Paper 2 Higher Paper. Let's jump straight into it. Question number 1. Expand and simplify 3 lots of 2y minus 5 plus 7 lots of y plus 2. So 3 lots of 2y is just 6y, 3 lots of minus 5 is minus 15, plus 7 lots of y is 7y. 7 times 2 is 14. Put all the y's together, put all the numbers together, we're going to get 13y minus 1. Part B, factorise fully 6x squared plus 15x. So x goes into both of these, and I can also see 3 goes into both of these. So we're going to take 3x outside, and we're going to get 2x on the inside, plus 5. Part C, make g the subject of the formula f equals 3g plus 11. So I'm going to take 11 off of both sides, so f minus 11 equals 3g. Then I'm going to divide through by 3. F minus 11 over 3 equals g. And I will just write that the other way around over here. Question number 2. Karen is organising a party for charity. She spends £100 on food, £120 on a hall, £80 on a DJ. She sells 54 tickets, each cost £7.50. Work out the percentage profit Karen makes for the charity. So, she sells 54 tickets at £7.50 each. I'll put that into my calculator. 54 times 7.5 is just 405. Income. The cost is going to be 100 plus 120 plus 80, which is just £300. Therefore, her profit is going to be 405 minus 300, which is 105. And therefore, her percentage profit is going to be 105 divided by 300, which again I will do on my calculator, and we get 35%. Question number 3. Andrew invests £4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 3.4% per year. Calculate how much Andrew has in this savings account at the end of 2 years. All we need to do is 4,500 multiplied by 1.034 multiplied by 1.034 again, because that will be after 1 year and that will be after 2 years. So on my calculator, I'll do 4,500 times 1.034, which you get 4653. And then I'll do it again, times 1.034, and you get 4811.20, which is in currency, so I will leave it as 2 decimal places. Question number 4. Solve 5x minus 14 equals 52 minus x. I'll put all the x's on one side and I get 6x. Put all the numbers on the other side, so I'll add 14 to both sides and we get 66. Therefore, x equals 11 after dividing through both sides by 6. Question number 5. Chris, Debbie and Errol share some money in the ratio 3:4:2. Debbie gets £120. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie and Errol each have is now in the ratio 2:5:3. How much money did Chris give to Errol? So the original ratio was 3:4:2 for Chris, Debbie and Errol. Therefore, Chris had 3 out of 9 of the money. Debbie had 4 out of 9 of the money, and Errol had 2 out of 9 of the money. But we know £120 is what Debbie had, and that is 4 out of 9 of the total money. So therefore, the total money is going to be 120 divided by 4 over 9, which I'll do on my calculator, which is £270. New ratio is 2 to 5 to 3. So Chris has 2 out of 10, Debbie has 5 out of 10, and Errol has 3 out of 10 of £270. Therefore, Errol has 3 out of 10 times 270, the end, Do that on my calculator. That's £81. And Errol did have 2 out of 9 multiplied by 270. 2 divided by 9 multiplied by 270, which is £60. Just scroll down a bit. You can see where this is going. Therefore, Chris gave Errol £81 minus £60, which is just £21. Question number 6. The bearing of port B from port A is 147 degrees. Work out the bearing of port A from port B. So A, let's say, is here. 147 degrees from north, so it's going to be somewhere around here. So that's 147 degrees. And we'll just make up a distance that it's away. So we're going to say it's here. And that is your point B. Now, to get back to A, we're going to need to do from north again, all the way round here, up to this dotted line. So we essentially need to do 360 degrees minus x, where this is x here. And x is just going to be 180 minus the 147 that we already travelled, which is just 33 degrees. Therefore, the bearing is just going to be 360 minus 33, which is 327 degrees. Question number 7. The diagram shows an empty tank in the shape of a cylinder. The cylinder has radius 15 centimeters and height 43 centimeters. Water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47 liters per minute. Calculate the number of minutes it will take to completely fill the tank. Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. So what we're going to do first is we're going to say the area of the base is just pi times r squared, r being 15, so pi times 15 squared, which is 15 squared times pi, 706.858. Therefore, the volume of the cylinder will just be the area times the height, so 706.858 times 43, which we get as 30394.91. But this is in centimeters cubed, and we want it to be in liters, so we need to convert centimeters cubed to liters by dividing by 1,000. Therefore, volume is going to be 30.39 liters cubed. Scroll down. The total number of minutes it will take to completely fill the tank is then simply going to be 30.39 divided by 0.47. Do on my calculator, and we get 64.67 minutes. And the question asks, correct to the nearest minute, so 65 minutes is our answer. Question 8. The number x is written correct to two significant figures. The result is 1.9. Complete the error interval for x. That will just be 1.85 to 1.95. As 1.85 rounds up to 1.95, which is why we've got the equal to sign here. And 1.95 does not round down, which is why there's no equals sign on that side. Question number 9. Expand and simplify x plus 7, x minus 2, x plus 3. I'm going to do these first two first. It's going to be x squared. X times minus 2 is minus 2x. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 2 is 14. Let's simplify this first. So x squared plus 5x minus 14. Lots of x plus 3. Now we'll expand out fully. So we're going to get x cubed plus 5x squared minus 14x. Then we do the 3. So plus 3x squared plus 15x minus 42. Now we can simplify it. There's only one x cubed term. There is 8 lots of x squared. And then there is 1x and just the minus 42. And that is our answer. Question number 10. Shakir has to complete 2 tests. He can either pass or fail. The probability that he will pass the first test is 0.87. If he passes the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.94. If he fails the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.73. Complete the probability tree diagram for this information. So the probabilities always add up to 1, so I'm going to start by filling in the 0.13. So we're saying if he passes the first, he will pass the second is 0.94, which means this is 0.06. And then if he fails the first, the probability he will pass is 0.73, which makes this last one 0.27. Part B. Work out the probability that Shakir passes at least one of the tests. That's going to be this scenario, and this scenario. So all we need to do here is 0.87 times 0.94 plus 0.87 times 0.06 plus 0.13 times 0.73. So I'll do that on my calculator, each one separately. So we're going to get 0.8178 plus 0.0522 plus 0.0949. I'll add all these together and we get 0.9649. Question number 11. The graphs of y against x represent 4 different types of proportionality. Match each type of proportionality in the table to the correct graph. What have we got? Y is proportionate to x squared, so graph D is shaped like an x squared graph. Y is proportionate to x will be a straight line, and we've only got one of those, so that is graph A. Then we've got y is proportional to 1 over x. Well, that'll be the one that doesn't touch 0, which will be graph B. And then the last one must be graph C, as it's the only one we've got left. Question 12. A is the point with coordinates 7, 13, B is the point with coordinates minus 3, 21, C is the point with coordinates 15, 23, M is the midpoint of AB, N is the midpoint of BC. Work out the distance between M and N. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So if M is the midpoint of AB, then we know that M is going to have x coordinate of the A plus B divided by 2 for the midpoint. So 7 minus 3 over 2, and the same for the y coordinate. 13 plus 21 over 2, which gives us 4 over 2, which is 2, and 34 over 2, which is 17. Similarly, n is the midpoint of BC, so we're going to do minus 3 plus 15 over 2, and 21 plus 23 over 2, which just gives us 6. So that would be 12 over 2 and 22. We want the distance between m and n. So the distance in x is going to be 4. The distance in y is going to be 5. But what will actually be is a triangle. So we don't want the x, we don't want the y, we want the hypotenuse of the triangle. So we need to do 4 squared plus 5 squared square rooted, which is going to be the square root of 41, as that would be 16 and 25. And the square root of 41 on my calculator is just 6.4. And they want it to 1 decimal place, so that is all we need to put. So question 13. Prove algebraically that 0.0723 with recurring symbols, the 7 and the 3, can be written as 241 over 3330. So what I'm going to say is let x equal 0.0723 recurring. Therefore, what would it be? 10,000x. So that will be 10, that will be 100, 1,000, 70. 10,000 would be 700. So 10,000x is going to be 723.723 recurring. We're also going to say, and 10x is going to be 0.723 recurring. Might be able to see what I'm going to do here. Therefore, 10,000x minus 10x equals 723, as it cancels all of the decimal places out. So that's going to be 9,990x. Therefore, x is going to equal 723 divided by 9,990, just by dividing both sides of this by 9,990. And this, if you divide the top and the bottom by 3, is 241 over 3330, which is as required. Question number 14. Y is proportional to x squared. Y equals 3 when x equals 0.5. X is inversely proportional to W. X equals 2 when W equals 0.2. Find the value of Y when W equals 2. So, X is inversely proportional to W, so I'm just going to write that here. X is inversely proportional to W. Therefore, we have W at 0.2. It's gone up at a factor of 10, which means we need to divide X by a factor of 10. So I'm going to say when W equals 2, X equals 2 over 10. As again, we've times this by 10, so we need to divide the X by 10, which is 0.2. We also know Y is proportional to X squared. So when Y equals 3, X equals 0.5. When X equals 0.2, the relationship between 0.5 and 0.2 is a division of 2.5, or divided by 5 over 2. If it was a linear relationship, but it's a squared relationship. Therefore, I am going to square this relationship here to become minus 20, divided by 25 over 4. So I can get what Y is being affected by. So X is being affected by 5 over 2. Y is therefore being affected by 25 over 4. So if I do Y divided by 3 divided by 25 over 4, I will get the value of Y when X is 0.2. And I'll do that on my calculator. 3 divided by 25 over 4, and I get 0.48 for a 5-mark question. Question 15. The incomplete table and the incomplete histogram give information about the times taken by some students to run a race. None of these students had a time for the race such that t is less than or equal to 10 or t is greater than 26. Use the histogram to complete the table. So what I'm going to do here, as the graph is in frequency density, I need to convert our figures up here to that. So I'm going to say the size of the range is going to be 2 here, 10 to 12, 4 here, 12 to 16, 3 here, 2 here, and 5 here. Then frequency density is simply going to be frequency divided by the size of the range. So we're going to have something divided by 2, we don't know yet. 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. And 7 divided by 5 is, I'll do that on the calculator, a bit more difficult, 1.4. So if I now scroll down, we have frequency density on the y-axis here. So we know that the 12 to 16 region goes up to 2.5 on frequency density, and this one will be 5 up here, which means every box is going to be 0.5. So 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, just scroll down a little, 2, 1.5, 1, and 0.5, which means for this one here, that runs to 1.5, so I'll go and populate my graph, my table, 1.5, which means the frequency up here is just going to be the size of the range multiplied by the frequency density, which is just 3. Then we also need to draw on the histogram for the other missing amounts. So 19 to 21 needs to go up to 4.5 on our graph. So 19 is here, 21 is just 2 squares after 20, 4.5, just like that. And you'll be using a ruler in the exam. I'm on an iPad, so I do not have a ruler. And then the other one is going to be a width of 5 and a frequency density of 1.4, which is going to go from 21 to 26, which is here. And it's going to be about there. So that's part A and part B. So the histogram below gives information about the times taken by 43 students to run a different race. Work out an estimate for the median of the times taken by these 43 students to run the race. So it's going to be a similar sort of story here. So we have 10, that will be 12, 16, 22, and 26 just down here. And then that goes up to 2, that goes up to 4, and that goes to 6.5. So we have a frequency density of 2 for the period 10 to 12. So I'll do here class size, frequency density. So class size for the first one is 2, which means the frequency is going to be 4. For 12 to 16, we're going to have, I might even just write here 10 to 12. For 12 to 16, we are going to say that is a frequency density of 2 as well, and a class size of 4, which means the frequency is 8. 16 to 20 is a frequency density of 4, a class size of 4, so 16. And then 20 to 22, can't actually see how high this goes here, up to 6.5, 6.5. Class size is going to be 2, so the frequency is 13. And this last one, the frequency density for 22 to 26 is just 0.5. And the class size is 4, so that's going to be 2. So now we've got all the frequencies, we'll need to add up how many total people are in the race. So 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 13 plus 2 gives us 43. Therefore, we now need to find the middle student. I've already told 43 students, pardon me. The middle student of 43 students is going to be the 22nd student in the list. Therefore, the 22nd is going to fall in, we got 4 here, 8 here, so we're up to 12. It's going to fall somewhere between 16 and 20. So we've said there's 12 up here, and then it's going to be 10 people into the 16 people between 16 and 20. So what I'm going to do is say 10 out of 16 multiplied by 4, which is the class size. 10 out of 16 multiplied by 4 gives us 2.5. It is going to be roughly 2.5 students into the 16 to 20 range. So we're going to do 16 plus 2.5 gives us 18.5 seconds as the medium estimate. Question 16. ABCD is a trapezium. AD is parallel to BC. Calculate the area of the triangle BCD. Give your answer to one decimal place. Okay, so we're going to need to find BD first, and to do that, we're going to use the sine rule. So we know that BD over sine 112 is equivalent to 7.9 over sine 42, as you have this side is opposite this angle and this side is opposite this angle. Therefore, BD equals 7.9 sine 112 over sine 42. I'll do that on my calculator. Sine 112 divided by sine 42 times 7.9. And I get 10.947, let's say. Now we need to find the area of the triangle, and what we're going to do for that is the area of the triangle formula using sine. So area of triangle is just going to be half multiplied by 2 lengths of the triangle. We have 15.3, and now we have 10.947, multiplied by sine of an angle. Now, because these are parallel lines, we know that this angle here is the same as this angle here and is 42 degrees. Therefore, we can put sine 42 into our equation, and I'm going to do all this on my calculator. So 0.5 times 15.3 times 10.947 times sine 42 gives me a grand total of 56.0. And that will be my answer, centimetres squared. Question number 17. Show that the equation x cubed plus 2x minus 6 equals 0 has a solution between x equals 0 and x equals 1. X equals 1 and x equals 2. So let x equal 1. Then 1 cubed plus 2 times 1 minus 6 equals 1 plus 2 minus 6, which equals minus 3. Let x equal 2. 2 cubed plus 2 lots of 2 minus 6 equals 8 plus 4 minus 6, which equals 6. As x equals 1 gives negative answer, and x equals 2 gives a positive, then the equation equals 0 must fall between x equals 1 and x equals 2. Part B. Show that the equation x cubed plus 2x minus 6 equals 0 can be rearranged to give x equals 6 over x squared plus 2. So what we're going to do first is add 6 to both sides. So we're going to say x cubed plus 2x equals 6. Then we're going to take x outside and say x squared plus 2 equals 6. Then we're going to divide both sides through by x squared plus 2. And we're done. Part C. Starting with x0 equals 1.45, use the iteration formula twice to find an estimate for the solution to x cubed plus 2x minus 6 equals 0. Give your answers correct to 4 decimal places. So what we're going to say is x1 equals 6 over 1.45 squared plus 2. So we're going to do 1.45 squared first, plus 2, and then 6 divided by that, all on my calculator. And that gives me 1.4625228519, etc. Then we're going to say x2 equals 6 over 1.4625 squared plus 2. I'm leaving the number on my calculator so I can use that again. So we're going to square that first and then add 2 and do 6 divided by that. And we get 1.4496343937. And therefore, that is our answer. So what do they want? Full decimal places, 1.4496. Question 18. A, B, C, D is a quadrilateral. E, F, G, and H are the midpoints of A, B, B, C, C, D, and D, A. Prove using vectors that E, F, G, H is a parallelogram. I'm just going to draw on this diagram to visually make this a bit easier. So, for this to be a parallelogram, EH needs to equal FG, or HG needs to equal EF. So I'm actually going to write that down. For this to be a parallelogram, EH equals FG, or HG equals EF. Okay, so I need to work out what EH is first. So EH in terms of vectors, so EH, how do you get from E to A? It is B, but it's B backwards, so minus B. A to H is plus A. We can also work out HG. So H to D, we don't have, but we know that it is the midpoint. H is the midpoint of AD. So we can say that as AH is A, HD is also A, so it's going to be A plus DG, which we have, is C. So all we need to do now is work out FG and EF. So I will start with FG. So to get from F to G, we need to get from F to C, FC plus CG. Now we know that DG is C, small c. It's going to get very complicated. So GC must also be small c, as G is the midpoint, and it's going the same direction, which means CG must be minus C. To get FC, we would need to know what BC is. So I'm going to rename this as half BC, because we know F is the midpoint, minus C. And to get BC, we will need to get BA plus AD plus DC. So we're going to go this way around the shape. So I'll scroll down a little bit and I will rewrite this as half, what did we say? BA plus AD plus DC. So BA is just going to be the same as EA doubled, and we said EA is going to be the opposite of AE, so EA is minus B, So BA is minus 2B. This is a very complicated question. I know we're quite late in the paper, but there's a lot of letters going around. It'll be easier just writing it, but saying it out loud is quite a mouthful. AD is going to be twice AH, so 2A. And DC is going to be twice DG, so 2C. I'm aware I've sort of messed up my formula here, so I'm going to just correct this a second, because it's not strictly true what I've written. So we're going to just do minus C up here. And we'll rearrange this to say over 2 minus C. So let's get rid of this over 2. And we're going to be left with minus B plus A plus C minus C becomes minus B plus A. Therefore, FG equals minus B plus A. Therefore, FG equals EH. As we have EH up here is minus B plus A. And since EH equals FG, we have a parallelogram. I think they shouldn't have used capital letters in this question that matched the same vectors that they used, the A, B, and C, because it just made for an absolute mouthful there. Question 19. The functions f and g are such that f of x equals 2x plus 3 squared and g of x equals 2x minus 1. Find g, f minus 3. So what we have to do first is f of minus 3, which is going to be 2 lots of minus 3 plus 3 squared. 2 lots of minus 3 plus 3 is just minus 6 plus 3, which is minus 3 squared, equals 9. So then we need to do g of 9, which is going to be 2 lots of 9 minus 1, which is just 17. And part B, find g to the minus 1 of x. So all that's going to be is, let's say g equals 2x minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. G plus 1 equals 2x. Divide 3 by 2. X equals g plus 1 over 2. And that will be g minus 1 of x. You just rearrange it to make x a subject. In fact, I need to write this as x plus 1 over 2. Question number 20. Right, 14 over 3x minus 21 plus everything in those square brackets in the form ax plus b over cx plus d, where a, b, c, and d are integers. Lovely. So we need to basically get this so we can get it all under one common denominator. I'm going to focus on the square brackets first. So what have we got? X plus 4 divided by that. So if we're dividing by a fraction, I'm just going to flip the fraction and multiply. So I'm going to say this is the same as 2x plus 3 over 2x squared minus 6x minus 56. Then I'm going to expand out the top and say this is 2x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 12 over 2x squared minus 6x minus 56. Simplify this a little bit. 2x squared plus 11x plus 12 over 2x squared minus 6x minus 56. Now, we need to make the denominator a little bit easier than this. So what we're going to do is factorize both of these, and we can say that that is 2x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 4 as 2x squared, 3x, 8x, and then 12. will be our numerator, over, so this can be factorised to be 2x plus 8 multiplied by x minus 7. As you've got 7 eighths are minus 56, then you have 8 times x is plus 8x, 7 times 2x, minus 7 times 2x is minus 14x, which gives you 6x overall, and the 2x squared. So what we're going to do next is rewrite this as 2x plus 3 lots of x plus 4. If you notice 2x plus 8, if I take the 2 outside, is x plus 4, which we have on the top and the bottom. So let's immediately cancel that out. So we get 2x plus 3 over 2 lots of x minus 7. Now, let's look at the full equation. Now that we've done that, let's just save the PDF. There we go. So we've got 14 over 3x minus 21. So what you might notice is 14 over 3x minus 21. If I take the 3 outside, we get 3 lots of x minus 7. And we already know that everything inside the square bracket comes to 2x plus 3 over 2 lots of x minus 7. So what I'm going to do is multiply the bit on the left, top and bottom, by 2, and the bit on the right, top and bottom, by 3, so that we have the same denominator. So we're going to say this is 28 over 6 lots of x minus 7, and this is 6x plus 9 over 6 lots of x minus 7. We'll rearrange this to be 6x plus 37 over, and we'll expand out the brackets, 6x minus 42. And that is our answer in the format that they are asking for it. Just rewrite it down here, 6x plus 37 over 6x minus 42. And this moves us on to our final question. 21. Vicky has a collection of medals. The Venn diagram gives information about the number of medals in her collection, where the full set is all medals, A is English medals, and B is gold medals. Vicky is going to take at random a medal from her collection. Given that the medal is gold, the probability that the medal is English is 2 out of 11. Work out the number of medals in Vicky's collection. So given that it is gold, so we're already in set B, the probability that it is English is 2 out of 11. What we can say is total gold medals is going to be x plus 5x minus 3, because it's everything within that B circle, or oval. So that is just going to be 6x minus 3. And we know that 2 out of 11 is the same as x out of 6x minus 3. Therefore, we can multiply both sides by 6x minus 3 and multiply both sides by 11, so that we get 12x minus 6 equals 11x. Therefore, x equals 6 after some rearranging. But the question is asking the total number of medals in her collection. So what we're going to do is 7x minus 11 plus x plus 5x minus 3 plus 34, where x is 6, is going to be 42 minus 11 plus 6 plus 30 minus 3 plus 34. I'll do this on my calculator. 42 minus 11 plus 6 plus 30 minus 3 plus 34 gives us 98 total medals. And that brings us to the end of this paper. Thank you for watching as always. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying, and I'm going to continue to be doing these papers, so hopefully they're helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.